and this Rasmus Hojluund. We are at a point where it's becoming really sad what's happening with Rasmus Hojluund. I've talked about this before, and I'm going to talk about it again because you kind of saw in today's game. He wasn't even part of the team that he wasn't part of the match day squad. And I feel like that is very sad. We brought in a player from Atlanta who had potential, but who had only scored 8 goals. We kind of bigged him up to be this amazing thing, did not develop him properly. Even in his first season, where he completely bowled out in the Champions League, he was part of a very dysfunctional team and wasn't in the right environment to be successful. Second season, he deals with injuries. Our team is the worst that it's ever been in Premier League history. Since the Premier League started, this is the worst football that we have ever played. He also deals with injuries again, and we swap managers. In what universe is a young striker supposed to perform in those type of situations? And I agree. We got Sesko in. We kind of need to sell him. We need to move on. But the way he's kind of being pushed away from this team, I don't really like it. I don't like it. I don't feel like this is how you should treat a player, especially a player who we brought into this team, a player who we were picking up. Oh, Hojluund is going to be the special player, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's very unfair. And now, to play devil's advocate here for a second, you kind of have to do that. Like, football is a ruthless business. He didn't perform last season, even with all the stuff I said, didn't perform, only scored 4 goals. You can kind of make the same argument for Ahmad because Ahmad also dealt with injuries and he dealt with things, but Ahmad was still able to score 8 goals in the Premier League, more goals than Hojluund. And yeah, we just went out there. There was a chance of Sesko. We got, at least on paper, a better striker with higher potential. So we need to get rid of Hojluнд. Football is a ruthless business at the end of the day, and these are the things that at times are not the most favorable things to be seeing. But Hojluнд needs to go. Right? I just feel like the way he's being treated is a bit unfair, and I'm kind of glad that a lot of fans have kind of stood behind Hojluнд, not in the sense that we want him to stay, because the funds, if I'm talking about funds, the funds we could get from AC Milan would also be beneficial in our chase of a striker, in our chase for Baleba. But at the same time, it's very unfair, and this is why we need to really. It always goes back to the board. We need to become much more effective and efficient at getting players into this team, players that really match the manager's vision. And even if things don't work out the exact way we want them to work out, we just don't sack a manager, because you're going to be in this situation every 3 years. If we become good at that, we're going to avoid more situations like Hojluund, because we kind of we've stalled Hojlund's development for the past 2 years. He had a very good first year, second year very shaky, and now third year he's meant to go. It's tough business. And yeah, moving forward, we need to make sure that there is a long-term vision for our players. If we're going to get in a young player like Sesko, we need to make sure that there is a vision for him. There is a place to see him into our starting 11 consistently. And yeah, it just goes to once again highlight how poor our transfer and scouting networks have been at developing and identifying talent. The last signing we really had has really been outstanding have been Bruno Fernandes, of course, Lisandro Martinez, Casemiro for a short while, but most of, I want to say, a good at least 60% of our signings do not work out, and you end up with situations like Rasmus Hojluund. And if we want to continue to be a club that is a desirable destination, especially for young talent, moving forward, we need to make sure again that everything is aligned in terms of getting these players and making sure they develop correctly at United. But yeah, those are kind of all of my talking points for today, guys. I appreciate all of you for coming.